Hey, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with a cool, I don't know, 90s bow. Or is it the 90s that we wore these cool bows in our hair? And mostly I wore them in a ponytail and in the back. But this one I put on my head today because as I was cleaning my closet, I stumbled across this bag, this incredibly wonderful bag of absolutely gorgeous bows. And I'm like, what do you do with these? Obviously, I went through a hair bow phase where I wore my hair in crazy ponytails with crazy bows. Now maybe I'll be the hair bow lady instead of pajama grandma for a while, because it would be kind of fun to do. Ooh, that's pretty. It'd be kind of fun to do something fun with these. Maybe I'll save a couple of them for my granddaughter. Not the big ones, but the little teeny ones. Or maybe I've got my daughter's, actually, this is funny. One of my daughter's uniform headbands, which is funny. From grade school, from Catholic grade school. So I'm sure she'd love to see that. She'll probably want to keep that. So what am I working on today? Today I'm working on the 30-day customer challenge. And today was day 2, which is all about you or all about them. And here is the framework. I just kind of want to quickly talk about how do I create my 30-day challenges, because I think people get all hung up on how on earth am I ever going to do a 30-day challenge? How on earth could I possibly do a woman's summit? How on earth could I do even a 5-day challenge? Well, here's how I do it. I think about what is a result that the people I'm talking to or the people I want to serve really, really want. What is that result? I did a 5-day customer challenge where I showed the 5 best ways, the 5 best free ways to attract customers to your business. And people want to attract customers to their business for free, or leads to their business. I think I said I did leads in that one. I don't remember, but so I came up with a 5-day. I said, okay, I'm going to do a 5-day challenge. What are the topics of my challenge going to be? Well, I asked myself, what are my 5 favorite ways? What are the 5 best ways that I know of to attract people to your business for free? And then I just each day, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, shared one of those strategies and how you could quickly and easily in a day put that into practice. Now, I might be a little unusual because I actually launched my podcast in 1 day. Now, I thought about it for months, and I created content for 6 months or so before I ever launched my podcast. So I came from it with, I'd been doing Facebook Lives, and I knew I could strip out the audio, and I could launch my podcast. So when my friend Arlene Battiso put up a post that she was going to share how she launched her podcast in a week, I'm like, well, heck, I did mine in a day. And I said, well, I can do it in a day because I'm kind of competitive. I don't like to think I'm competitive, but when I hear that somebody else has done something, then I know it's possible for me too. And I say, what the heck are you waiting for? Just do it. So I think I might have talked about podcasting in that, but I don't know. I think I did tell people, here's how you could do it in a day, because you can. You can totally, absolutely, and positively launch a podcast in a day, even if you've got no content created, especially with the free tools that are available now, like Anchor. I can sit down with my Facebook Live, and you can do it for free. Let me just walk through this one. Podcast in a day. You can sit down with your Facebook Live. You can record an introduction video. Hey, this is what I stand for. This is what this podcast is going to be about. Here's who I am. Then you could do another episode or 2 or 3 where you break down and share your origin story. Share your story. Why are you doing this podcast? Why are you in this particular business or topic? Why are you doing a podcast on this topic? What's your origin story that made this something that's important to you that you feel you need to talk about, share information on, and get people to listen to? 3 or 4 of those, boom, you can launch your podcast. You go to anchor.com, you strip out the audio from the video, and you just upload the audio to anchor.com. That is 100% doable in a day. I wish I'd known about anchor.com when I launched my podcast over a year ago, and it would have made it a lot easier. It would have made it a whole lot easier. But I launched on, I think SoundCloud I launched on first, and then I pretty quickly switched to Libsyn because I kept running out of memory. And Libsyn offered the ability to share with a lot more platforms than SoundCloud did at the time. Now, I don't even know what's going on with SoundCloud. I think I'm still on SoundCloud. I don't know. I don't know if I am or not, but my early episodes are on SoundCloud. And then my still bad episodes are I'm still making them today. I still don't have an intro or an outro. I still don't have a lot of things, but I've got, I think thousands of, at least 2,000 episodes done. Now they might not all be on my Libsyn account, and I know they're not all on YouTube because I don't really do anything but YouTube, but share it there. And I think this year, I'm going to call my shot right now. I think this year I really need to beef up and start figuring out how to use YouTube, because it sounds like YouTube is the platform to really be on this year. Last year, I think it was Facebook Live, and Instagram. And now I think this year it sounds like, from the news I'm hearing through the grapevine, that YouTube is the one that you really want to get going on. And they have doing some cool things. I noticed on Messenger, like on my phone, you get this whole thumbnail from YouTube when there's YouTube notifications from somebody that you follow, which is really incredible. It's very noticeable. You can't miss it. In all the other just text message type links, you get a graphic, a thumbnail, plus the big YouTube logo. You cannot miss that. So I do agree that that might be the big platform this year. So that's how I came up with that for the 5-day challenge. It's like, what is something I'm doing? I've already figured out I know how to do that. Most people don't know how to do that. I would say that most people have no idea that they could launch their podcast in a day, much less how to go about doing it step by step by step. So that's some really valuable information to share with people. And that's a free 5-day customer finding challenge. So now, if you want to know what that is, message me, direct message me, or I'm going to say comment below. And then if I get a couple of people to ask, I will go find it. I'm sure I've got the links saved somewhere, and I'll get you access to that, because it's cool content. I think I might have even, I've got a lead magnet set up to that. So I can get you the link to the lead magnet where you can sign up, and then once a day for 5 days, it'll get delivered to you by email. That's probably the best way to get it. So just, if you're interested in that, comment below that you want that, and I will be glad to share it with you. But this is actually a $97 challenge. The customer challenge for 30 days is a $97 value. It's not a $97 value. It's a $97 commitment, because it's a $5,000 value. What I'm teaching you and showing you in this and creating this framework with you is a minimum of a $5,000 value. If I do this, and I do it, when I do this with my corporate clients, I charge anywhere from $20,000 on up to create this framework with them, to create the systems with them, to put this in place. And for $97, you can get access to it too. And I guess, if your false belief is that I don't deserve to spend $97 on myself creating something that will change my business and my life, then please don't do it. Because if I can't get you over that hurdle of knowing that putting a system in place to help you handle customers is worth $100, under $100, then you don't want to work with me anyway, because you would just get frustrated. Because I'm not going to be one of those quiet coaches that says everything is sunshine and roses and you don't need to do anything to be successful. I believe in the law of attraction and that we can create whatever we want. But I also know that signs come to us that tell us, hey, I need to take this action. And this summit might be the next, not summit, this challenge might be the exact next step you need to create the business that you want, to create and get all the customers and deal with all the customers and handle them in a way that's systematic and consistent and gets you the results you want. But you have to be willing to take that step and say, yeah, this is what I need. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this small step, this small thing every day, so that at the end of 30 days, I got this handled. I've got this in place for my organization. And now it's not all on me necessarily to do it, because I can do the pieces of it that I want, and I can have other people help me. I can delegate. I can outsource. I can get a remote virtual assistant to help me do a lot of these things. And I only have to do the pieces that I like, that I'm good at, and that will be most beneficial to growing my business and creating what I want. So I also want to show you that I start with the end in mind. So I start with a piece of paper 1 through 31, because I'm always going to add a bonus day. I'm all about bonus and more than over delivering and under promising. But so I start with what are the key things? What are the key steps of the framework that I want to make sure get covered in the 30-day challenge? Then I'm going to back up that and I'm going to say, okay, what is the result that will give me this piece of the framework that we can create? And we've got, between 1 and 3 days, there's 10. Well, I think 1, 2, 3, 4. I called out 10 key things that I want to make sure, 10 key areas I want to make sure get covered for the framework. Then I said, okay, what's the result that I want people to get and have as a part of that will guarantee and ensure that they get this piece of the framework done? And then what is the action step that they need to do in order to get the result, to create the foundation, to create the framework that will give them the overall system and results that they want for their business. Now, a lot of times when we're providing people with a product or service, we sell them, or we communicate to them what they think they want or need. That might not be what they actually want or need in order to get the result that they want. So I know with 100% certainty that every business owner, every solopreneur really needs a framework for handling each of their business functions, but especially handling customers, because customers are the beginning of our organizations. Customers are just like the blood in our body. If we didn't have blood in our body, we couldn't exist. We couldn't function. It delivers all of everything that we need to us. Just like customers deliver the value that we need in our business. Customers are the ones that bring the economic exchange, the money to our business that all of our businesses run on. We don't like to think our businesses run on money, but they absolutely run on money. If we don't have money coming into our business, we don't have a business, because money is the exchange of value. We give people something valuable, much more valuable than the money that they give us in exchange for that. So I just want to map out that I begin with the end in mind and I work backwards. I do that with everything. If I want to make and create $1 million a year business, I back that up then to say, okay, what are each pieces? What do I need to do in each quarter? What do I need are the big chunks? What are, the big goal is $1 million. Then I chunk that down to quarterly. Then I chunk that down to monthly. Then I chunk that down to weekly. Then I chunk that down to daily. And I make smaller and smaller pieces of the actions that I need to take that will, if I do this every day for 365 days, this will guarantee that I get my end goal in mind. And you don't have to be that detail oriented. You don't have to be that controlling. You don't have to be that constricted to create what you want. But for a lot of people, it really helps. So that's my framework. That's my thinking. Today is Pie in the Sky Day. And what does that mean to you in growing and supersizing your business? And it's all about you day. It's all about you. And I'm sure I can already hear people saying, oh my God, we're on day 2 of the challenge and we haven't even gotten customers into our business yet. We haven't done any specific strategy to bring customers in. If that's what you want, just the strategy, go to the 5-day free challenge. Do that, start that, that's fine. But if you really want to build what you need to create the business and the customer handling system that you want, then stick with me. Believe me, it'll grow exponentially on itself, but you got to start with the foundation. You have to start with what's really important. And the first 5 or 6 days of that are foundational. And does it seem like a lot to spend 5 or 6 days on foundation? Well, yes, until you realize that if you miss any of these steps or these days, it's the thing that I find all my coaching and consulting customers end up having to go back to. It's those things that we skip that are foundational that the whole building topples if we don't have those things in place. And this just doesn't work with our customers. This works with any of our core business functions, our core ways of doing business, because business is not just customers. Business is not just sales or marketing or production or, purchasing or the things that if you worked in a corporation before, everything is segmented into different departments. It isn't any one department. It's the culmination and the coalescence and the coming together of everything as a whole that makes a business work or not. And I love being in quality, because quality's job, in my estimation, in my definition, which I got to define it because I was the leader of that function in every organization I worked in, is, to me, it is the combination and the synergy between all of those functions that creates the result that you want for your customer. Yeah, because we're creating something for our customer, right, in any business. And that's why I started and we started with the customer handling and the customer system and the customer challenge, because when you survey business owners, when you talk to them, 60 to 80% of them say their biggest challenge has something to do with customers. Well, if we can knock out that biggest challenge for the majority of business owners, wow, what does that get us? That gets me the result I want, the result of impacting as many, in this case, women business owners as I possibly can, because we can knock out 60 to 8% of their biggest problem with this one challenge. So that's why Customer Challenge is our first challenge. That's why Customer Summit was our first summit. So that's what I'm working on today. In addition to that, I've got to go do some housework. It is beautiful outside here in Wisconsin. I'm just peeking out the window. We got more snow yesterday again. It's been like an unbelievable month of snow. I think there's like 3 feet of snow on my deck. I'm waiting for it to go over the edge. I'm trying to see, February's over now, we're into March, but I'm trying to see if it will actually go over the edge of the deck because it's up above the window. We've got a window that goes out to our deck, and it's up higher than that, but it hasn't quite gone over the edge yet. So I'm going to see if that happens before the winter's over. Actually, it should be shoveled off, but it's a brand new deck, so I think we're okay and it won't collapse. If it was the old deck, that amount of snow would have already collapsed that whole deck, and they wouldn't have had to tear it down because it would have fallen down. That's what happens after 20 years. You got to replace your deck sometimes. So today, what are you working on? What are you working on that I might be able to help you with, or that you've got a question about? Go ahead and share that in the comments below, because I would love to do an Ask Me Anything. I haven't done one for a while. And as I'm doing the Customer Summit, I'm doing some Q&As. So if you have any questions about customers, whether you're in, not the summit, the Customer Challenge, whether you're in the challenge or not, ask questions about customers. I would love to answer them. I'm always wondering, what are other people's customer questions? I have questions of my own, but my questions might not be your questions, because we all come from a different level of experience, a different set of experiences that we've had that have impacted how we interact with people and how we interact with customers in particular, because customers are always people. Whether you're selling business to consumer, business to business, or business to, you to corporations, a corporation is just people doing jobs in a bigger organization, but you're still dealing with people. So human nature always wins out. That's it. Go out, make it a fantastic day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye. No bow tomorrow.